Come on in here.
Oh, it smells good. It smells like green and growing things. Tell us what's new this week, William.
December 14th, 2020. Walipini update.
I see green things. Lots of green things.
Bed one's almost all the way planted. Tomorrow's my last day to get it planted.
Oh, I see something that's different than last time. You planted in compost over there. Didn't you?
That must have been a long time since you've done an update, if that's...
Well,
because that was a long time ago.
I know, but I didn't notice it until standing right here and looking at the difference. It's awesome.
Okay, so we got a lot going on. There's nothing happening in December out here other than just trying to clean things up and getting ready for planting. The first week of January I'm going to be planting a lot of things, because then by March we'll be getting enough daylight that things will be growing really fast, and so we'll be starting a lot of seeds. I actually put some seeds in today, but that doesn't count. I planted some Claytonia seeds. They're right over here. So they're right here underneath. I put them in these little biodegradable pots.
Nice.
Claytonia is a salad green. They call it miner's lettuce or winter purslane. Those are other common names for it. Don't confuse it with normal purslane, the weed that's in the garden. Anyway, I have lettuce going here, spinach, candy onion, broccoli.
Now, candy onion is a bunching onion, correct?
No, it's not.
It's not. Oh,
It's
you're starting a bulb onions.
a big giant sweet onion. It's a day neutral, so you can grow it in the south or the north or
Will you
anywhere.
be planting it outside or in here?
In here.
That's exciting.
That's why they're already growing.
Awesome.
Beets, broccoli, kale, candy onions, spinach. Anyway, I think this is the same as last time, wasn't it? Not a lot different. There's
Maybe things have
not
grown.
A lot happening.
Things are bigger than they were last
Things are
time.
bigger. Go down there and look at that bed.
Let's go take a look.
You'll see plants that are getting bigger.
All right. These have really gotten bigger along here. They were just transplants, I think, the last time we did one. Those are good looking. Look at that. Okay, this is interesting. Look how much bigger a couple of those are. They're like,
so just for comparison, I'll put my hand here so you can see how big they are. But these are fava beans.
yeah.
If you're English, they're broad beans. They're an interesting plant. They're kind of lesser known. They grow in the winter. They're a cold weather plant. Most people in North America grow them as a cover crop for the winter. Usually across the southern United States. Kind of north of the Missouri River, where Missouri River cuts the Missouri state in half. Goes across, cuts like southern half of Kansas, above that. Along that latitude line, you can grow fava beans south of that. Not so much north of that. You can grow them, but you have to grow them in the springtime. It would not be something you'd be growing in North Dakota, I don't think, if you fall planted them. We do fall plant them in the western Intermountain region. They grow fine. I've grown them in the Salt Lake Valley, fall planted, and then you have these great big awesome beans that you can pick and eat in the springtime. Like the end of May, you're eating beans, which
Yum.
is when you're just planting.
All the other beans.
Like normal garden beans. But you don't eat the pod. They're not like a green bean. You would shell them out when the seeds are still green, and then you eat them that way.
Awesome.
So, but they're an early crop you can grow to have food in starvation season after you've eaten all the food from last year and you haven't produced anything yet. Springtime starvation season.
We get excited about spring because it's when you're planting, but it's not really when you're eating unless you planned ahead and planted in the fall and winter.
So this is doing really well. I cover it with row cover every night. You see the lettuce is growing. It's getting
Yeah,
big.
it looks beautiful.
See how big that's getting compared to what it was?
It's gorgeous. Have you had any more mice? I know that you
I've
had
caught
some
3
nibbles
mice.
going on.
I've caught 3 mice total.
And I think that was all the last time, so you haven't had any more. That's good. Mice are actually a pretty big problem in some gardens, wouldn't you say? We've had problems with them before.
Yeah, they are. If you look up at the ceiling, there's interesting things going on. A lot of condensation in here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You can see the snow on the north side over there.
Yep.
We kind of designed this so that the snow would come off the south side more than the north. We didn't really expect it to go off the north side. Hopefully we built the frame strong enough that it'd be good.
I think we did. The way
Hold it.
that Jared came back in and did these trusses is pretty cool. You guys put those in there. It looks really awesome.
So the stones in here, these big boulders, they're certainly doing their job. And we're pretty excited about that because we have not had a frost. We did the early morning video last week about no frost. We had 5 degrees the night before last out here, outside. Still no frost in here, so...
Walapinis are awesome.
so
they get
I'm-
my vote.
So I'm really excited about the possibilities. I've got my garden pot over here.
This just came in today, right?
So I've got this pot here. I've been growing things like tomatoes and cucumbers and salad greens in these pots for 4 or 5 years now. And I've collected these over the years. I'm up to about 20 of these pots now. And I think I'm going to bring them all in and put them along this rock wall.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then I'm going to plant some things in them.
Oh,
So that we can move them around if we decide to or want to. I'm going to plant some pomegranates.
yeah.
I'm going to plant some fig trees. I've always been intrigued with bonsais.
Oh, yeah.
The Japanese art of taking a tree and making it miniature. And I've done a lot of research on bonsais, and it's really...
It's quite an art form.
It's not how small or how big you have a tree, it's just the way that you prune it to make it look you create a landscape. Bonsai means plant and pot, or tree and pot. And so, but anyway, the Japanese have pretty serious art about that. But I was thinking, why can't you just take a full-sized tree and dwarf it in a pot and have it produce fruit in a greenhouse? There's a lot of people who've done that, and it actually works. So I think I'm going to do that with some things in here.
I hope so. That's
Because,
exciting.
it's a beautiful art form. It's a great way to express artistic interest, and it's very therapeutic. And look at me, I need some therapy. Don't I?
We believe in good therapy.
So I'm going to bring my 20 pots in here, and I'm going to start planting things in them that can grow. I'm going to take very careful measurements all this winter. First day of winter is just coming up in a week. And so it's going to be exciting to see each day throughout this winter what the temperature is outside and then what the temperature is inside. And, you know, we may have a mild winter. It's already not mild because we've had several nights already
That we're down in single
that we're in
digits.
single digits, but mild is relative to where you are and what the normal climate is. But I'm just going to see if we can have the climate in here that we've created so that we can have some other things. Maybe we can have some citrus, maybe some avocados. Citrus and avocados don't really do well in pots, but it would be something fun to try, you know.
Bonsai experiment.
But along this wall here, it would be easy to build a small framework over a few of the pots. and just always keep them above freezing if we needed to. It'd be very economical and efficient to heat that area.
Just put a
Just-
little light, one light in there or something.
Just a light bulb, you know, a string
Yeah.
of old-fashioned incandescent Christmas light bulbs.
That would be awesome.
Just a few, you know, and then you just cover it with a fabric or a tarp. And they don't need, if they're deciduous tree, then they don't need light in the winter, I don't think. Maybe
Right.
they do. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, probably a little bit, but not
they
much.
don't have
They're
leaves
not
on.
photosynthesizing that time of year, so.
I know that there's people in Canada who raise peaches in pots,
Mm-hmm.
and they have great big giant hoop houses that they can pick up the pots with a tractor. The pots are palletized, so they can just pick them up, and they stack them all in the hoop houses, and the pallets are touching. And then in the spring, when they break dormancy, they take them out, and they spread them out so that the pots are 10 feet apart, so that they get plenty of light.
And the research we read, they were actually doing remarkably well.
Yeah, they did good.
Yeah.
They did really well.
So that's a fun, and that's been actually going on for some time, because we read about that when we were
That
first married.
that was years
That was
ago,
25
yeah.
years ago, so.
there's been a lot of neat things going on. There's a lot of things people can do with agriculture. Just depends what you want to do.
Right.
You know, maybe what you want to do is a different profession and buy your food. That's good too.
That's you can buy it from somebody like us who wants to grow it.
So, anyway, I've got pots. I'm gonna get them in here. There's no hurry though. Okay, they may look the same on next week's update. You know, we're not planning on.
It's
planting
winter.
anything.
It's story season.
It is. We've been reading and writing. We've been reading a book of a friend, having weekly meetings. We're editing each other's books, and that's what winter's for. The
Times-
farmer cycle.
it is.
We love that.
We get together with friends. We tell stories. We remember old times. We have to have the season of rest the same as the earth does.
So the snow outside is pretty significant. There's a couple inches on the ground. It's cold. It's normal winter conditions out there. And look in here. Look right here.
I know, isn't that great?
I've
Little
done
spring.
nothing to these weeds, but I just want to show you. You know, this
That dandelion?
Yeah, probably.
That's
I don't
great.
know. It might be a wildflower of some kind. It's hard to tell before they bloom. And there's different subspecies around the country, so I don't know quite which type is growing here, but
Right. But it's so
there's
pretty
different
there with the
kinds of grass
rocks.
here, and there's lamb's quarters. But this is a springtime condition right here. This is not a winter condition. So, it's doing good.
We've created spring.
Yeah.
I got to feature a rock here. That rock right there above your head with that lichen is one of my
This
favorites. Yeah, I love the lichen on there.
Yeah, I put all these rocks in here. 100% of these rocks, I picked them up with the backhoe, carried them in. Sat them in here one at a time.
So
So
awesome.
it's pretty exciting, you know. It's a great project to be able to create this. We created this, and it's going to last for... This is the type of thing that could last for hundreds of years.
That's what we hope.
This isn't something out of Tubifors that's going to be rotten in 25 years. You know.
The plastic will need to
I
be
don't know how
replaced
long the steel would
every,
last.
what, 5
This-
to 7
The
years?
steel may have 100 years life. But the stones will last for 1,000 years. These will be here for a millennium unless there's a big earthquake. But this
Even
is-
then, they won't all fall down. They're set pretty solid. Well, guess it depends on how much it rolls and shakes.
yeah, I don't know. But I like a project that lasts, you know. If somebody cares about food production, this can create food for generations and generations. So this is a very satisfying project to be able to put my skills and talents to work.
And that was the goal of
building this.
that was the goal of the rancher.
Yeah,
You know, that was
the guy that hired me to
that
come
was
do
Jared
this.
and
He
Selena's
didn't
goal.
just hire me to build the thing. He wants somebody to stay here for a period of time and to grow all the food for him. They actually came to one of my classes years ago.
Yeah,
One of
it's
the first
like 11
seminars-
years ago, something
Yeah,
like
one
that.
of the first seminars I taught on gardening. It was the first year that I did that. They came to one of those classes, and it was an advanced class where we were talking about making your own property food self-sufficient. No matter what, whether you had a city lot, you're in town, or if you had a bigger land. And they have thousands of acres of cattle ranching here, but they wanted to just focus on around their farmstead or their ranchstead, here where the barns and homes are. And so we went through the seminar, and they developed a plan, and they came home and they implemented the plan as far as eggs, milk, and meat goes. And they've been self-sufficient with eggs, milk, and meat ever since.
And they've been raising potatoes and some onions and things like that.
They do gardening and that kind of thing. They always wanted one of these. We talked about that in the class, and I helped him design this. I said, there's a thing called the Walapini. Look up the Benson Institute, and you can do more research on it. And so he's excited about that, and he's wanted to build one ever since. When coronavirus hit, I was working as a massage therapist. I had a business going. People would come to the house and get massages, and that died. That was just over. It was finished.
It was like overnight with the mandated closures.
Yeah, so I mean, with a contagious disease that nobody really understands, we don't even know what the proper, what do you do? Nobody really knew.
We already sanitized, but
everybody's guessing. But what are the procedures? But we needed money. We needed to pay the bills, and anyway, Jared just contacted me and said, "Hey, what are you doing? I want to build this greenhouse because we found where we're hurting right now with all this crazy stuff with coronavirus going on. We're doing great with milk, meat, and eggs, but I think I want to do that underground greenhouse that we had talked about
ramp up
almost
the food
a
production.
decade ago, because we're really suffering in the fruit and vegetable department." And he said, "I'd like you to come out and consult on this." And we did more than that. We moved here. So that's pretty exciting. So,
well, all the fun's in the building and producing, right?
Yeah, it was. So it's been a pretty good project. We're making this a super long video, rambling on.
Oh, well, we ramble a lot.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, so there's the update.
But the update is things are growing in here slowly because we don't have a lot of light. And for the next 3 or 4 weeks, there's not a lot going on. We're just focusing on the 1st of January, making sure we have all of our pots, our potting soil, our fertilizer, our seeds. So that's what our focus is right now.
Yep.
So
Esther's going to laugh at me. I had my finger over that half the time.
Yeah, I wondered why you were doing that, but just figured you were the camera woman and knew what you were doing.
Oh dear, no, I don't. Well, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for the update. It's good to see things green and growing. It's beautiful in here.
Thank you for joining me in this beautiful place.
Come visit us sometime. It's beautiful out here. We'll give you a personal tour.